So as you can see, the tab saver product is glued in position here on this top tab. I just had this screw in here to help position it, and also just to avoid getting glue in the threads if I happen to drip some in there accidentally. Very pleased, very firm bond. This ABS cement is the perfect stuff to work on ABS plastic, which all these plastic trim parts are made out of. I will never use epoxy on these parts again. This tab here developed a little crack. I don't know how well the GoPro will pick this up, but you can see a little crack formed right down here. And you can see it inside here. That's not one of the screws that I really struggled with. I'm a little surprised to see a crack formed there already. It just kind of goes to show that the design of these tabs is just not strong. It wasn't strong from Toyota. It's been replicated by Tools R Us. It's going to be a weak point on these things no matter what you do. So what I'm going to do is try to reinforce all of those with a coat of the ABS cement. This is the other new Tools R Us piece. This one didn't give me any trouble at all when I was trying to install it. I didn't struggle, well, maybe a little bit on that top one. You guys saw the wing. And let's take a look at this one. Looks like this one has also developed a small crack here already. I don't know if you can see it from there, but right there has another tiny little crack that's already developed. This one cracked right there. This one cracked right there. Bottom one looks like it survived uncracked, but I don't know. Maybe I was using more torque than I should. I thought I was being pretty gentle. I blame myself. Let's put it that way. I should have been even more gentle, and so should you. This was a piece that I had on this car already, and you'll recall I tried to super glue this crack, and the super glue did not hold. So I'm going to redo this. Super glue seems fine for getting the seal attached to these pieces, but for repairing these pieces, it's not great. Anyway, I'm going to coat all of these, and I'm probably going to pull some of my other junky spares out and see if I can reinforce any surviving tabs there. Shit. God damn it. Oh boy. So my recommendation, do this before you put the seal on. Right now I have to be really careful with this process to make sure I don't get any on the seal. And if I had just done this first, it would be a lot easier job. Tools R Us is my favorite source of MR2 parts, and I've been buying stuff from them for years. Always great to do business with. There's a lot of stuff from Tools R Us that's into my cars. All right, to inspect the results of the ABS cement reinforcement. It's a really hard finish, very good adhesion. It really is kind of like just thickening up that plastic. I can tell you this stuff adheres much better than the resin epoxy that I used to repair my center armrest console. And this is the stuff I will use from now on for any of the plastic repairs for interior trim or plastic trim on any of my cars. So really good. This is the piece that was already on my car, and it cracked, and this is one of the reasons I bought these new trim pieces. Nothing. That is really secure. So obviously I'll need to sand this down and do some refinishing. As it stands, that's a pretty strong repair. I'm pretty pleased. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce some of the surfaces in here. One big blob in there. I don't want to get any on the threads of the studs, and I don't want to do anything that will block the studs from inserting in there, so I'm not going to do anything underneath there. I'm just going to go on the exterior edges. That's good for one. I'm going to do that on all 6 of these. I just want to touch the holes that I drilled out with paint so that they're sure not to rust. Just going to touch them all up just to add a little coating. Couldn't hurt anything unless I drip paint on my car. Probably would have been smart to prime this and use like automotive paint instead of just this can of Rust-Oleum that I've got, but Rust-Oleum is pretty good. Adhesion is not its weak point. Rust-Oleum is not great for like a nice finished paint job on a car, but that's what I always use on my Lemons race car. It doesn't have to be nice. Hopefully that cures okay. I'll give it a few days. It's cold. Should be warmer for this, but it doesn't have to look good. It just has to keep from rusting. It's going to be hidden by that trim. Temperature's finally warmed up enough that I feel like I can do this without breaking anything. It's going to be my last attempt at getting the rear visor on. This stupid video is taking me forever to finish. It's definitely one of the most frustrating. It seems like it should be really simple, an easy project, but this is definitely one of the biggest pains in the ass. Any bets on whether I can get this or not this time? Smart money is on no. That side seemed to just go right in. That's crazy. It seems like it's in. Doesn't look like it's completely seated. I'm a little skeptical, but look at that. I think it's going to be close enough for me. The rest of this is pretty easy. Satisfied. Satisfied with that. I don't know. I hope I'm done. Feels very secure. I'm a little skeptical of some of the alignment of some of these guys. You can see that one looks fine. That one looks good. That one screwed in really easily, so I'm optimistic about that one. Over here, the alignment looks a little iffy. That one looks great. Looks iffy. And that one, I don't know what to think of that one. Satisfied with that. Ready to drive next time it's not winter. Project's done. I guess I should do a conclusions section here. As you saw, it was not an easy project for me, but I think I've figured something out. One of the biggest problems I had was this last screw and insert. I stripped the insert out of the plastic. I came to the realization that I filed the holes out on this side, and I think that made it a lot easier to fit these screws to get everything aligned and put together over here. I never did it on that side, on the driver's side of the car, and this side gave me so much trouble. I think that filing out those holes is actually really important so that you have just a little looser tolerances. The 2RS replica C-pillar trim kit is a really nice product. I do think there's a little room for improvement, as you have seen, but overall it is just fantastic to have nice fresh plastic. The Trim Saver tab kit, also a very useful product. It may be your best choice if your C-pillar trim is intact on the exterior, but you just have damage to the threaded inserts. Ultimately, that is the strongest solution to the problem of the threaded inserts. I think the wing looks really good on there. As I've mentioned many times, you're probably sick of hearing it. I will leave it off as a means of preservation and avoiding trouble with any possible damage that it does over long term to the C-pillar trim.